Hello, my cute and creepy friends, my sweet and spooky friends. Today, well, technically tonight, I wanted to talk about just personal experiences within the spooky realm because yes, we are going Halloween hunting right now, but I am in limbo right now with most of my stores, meaning a lot of them don't have their stuff yet, and I want to do a video where it's the store is stocked. So there's lots to talk about, there's lots to see. So, while I am popping in my stores and kind of waiting for that to happen, I thought I would do just a chit chat video, and everyone loves paranormal stories, right? Every time I'm with friends and that topic comes up, I just light up because I'm like, oh my God, really? Like, tell me what happened. Like, it's such an interesting topic to me, and because it's so divisive, I feel, because some people believe, some people don't. Other people do believe, but they don't play with that. They're like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to be even thinking about that. But I am very intrigued by the topic. So let's get into my personal experiences. So a little backstory, I moved around several times as a child. My dad just loved moving houses. We always stayed relatively in the area. I was never forced to like change like school districts or anything, but we hopped around houses a lot. And my first house was this super old, this is the house I was born in. It was this old brick house. Unfortunately, when I asked my parents, like, did I have any kind of like experiences? Did you see me like talking to like, the Hat Man that's in the corner? Did I have like some creepy imaginary friend? And unfortunately, the answer is no. I know, super boring. So no, I didn't have any personal experiences as a child. I only lived in that house till I was 5, till I was 5. We moved out. My mom, however, did explain to me that she had an experience there. My mom is one of those people where she believes, but she ain't playing with that. Like she gets really spooked. She doesn't like it. She's like, and every time I want to talk about it, because my dad is usually pretty, he's pretty open. We've had conversations about these things, and my mom is just like, be careful, just be careful. And I'm just like, Mom, don't worry. Like, I'm not joining Zach Bagans on Ghost Hunters yet. One can hope. But anyway, so my mom was outside. I don't know if she was like hanging up clothes on the clothesline or whatever, but she was outside and she distinctly heard the sound of a man whistling and like humming a tune or something right near her. And she was like, what? Looks around, during the day, obviously, there's no one there. There was no one there. We didn't, we had neighbors, but we were friends with them, so they would have like announced themselves. My mom would have found out pretty quickly if one of them was playing a prank on her. But yeah, so she heard this man whistling and singing a couple of times, and that freaked her out, which rightly so. And honestly, I feel like my mom probably had more stories to share, but I didn't want to press her. I didn't want to prod her about that stuff because I could tell it really like freaked her out still to this day. So I just kind of was like, all right, that's your experience. That's very creepy. And I just kind of dropped it. I would not be surprised if they had more paranormal, because like I said, that house was old. It was super, super, super old. They did, however, have a lot of like non-paranormal freaky experiences at that house. Oh my God, which that's another time. Sarah, stay on topic. So after that, when I was 5, we ended up moving to a new house. So new house usually means not haunted. But this is where I ended up having my experience, and I'm doing this because you'll see what I mean. I'm not sure if this was paranormal, like ghost, or if this was something else. So growing up, I was a chicken. I was like afraid of everything. I was severely afraid of the dark. Like, it was bad. Like, my sister, my poor sister, there was several times where I made her, like, I would go and knock on her door because our rooms were like directly across from one another. And I would be like, there is something under my bed. And my sister was like, oh my God. Like, and she was at that teen phase when I was like, 10 or whatever. And so I was super annoying to her. And so she would like, God bless her, she would come in, look under the bed, and she'd be like,
there's nothing there. Look, there's nothing there. Go to sleep.
So there was this one night that I was particularly afraid of just sleeping in my bed. And I was like, I wasn't sleeping. I was just terrified. And so I went to my parents' room, and a lot of the times I would try to sneak in without them noticing and just sleep on the floor, on the cold, hard floor. And so my dad would get so mad. Like, he would be like, Sarah, there's nothing wrong. Go to your room. You need to go to sleep. Like, and they would tuck me in, but they only would do this a couple of times before they were like, enough is enough. And I was probably like 8 to 10 years old, something like that. So I'm laying in bed, and I swear that I'm like seeing this figure. And I had already been tucked in. I'd already gone to see my parents, the whole spiel. And so I knew that I would be in big trouble if I went and bothered them again. So I was laying there, and I just did the whole, like, I closed my eyes, and I'm just like, nothing's there, nothing's there, nothing's there, nothing's there, nothing's there, nothing's there. Please let there be nothing there. Please protect me, God. I like open my eyes, and I look to my right, and I just see this figure. It was not a white filled in figure. It was like an outline. It was a white outline of a figure. It came from my closet area, walked around my room, and came up to me. And now that sounds terrifying, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound like I would be like, oh my God. But like, I had this weird calmness about me. Like, I was just like,
oh, look at that.
like, just totally like, whatever. This figure approaches me. Once again, it doesn't have a face. It's just like this outline. So it's coming towards me. And then as it's coming towards me, it reaches out its hand like towards me. And just as it's like about to like touch like my forehead or whatever, I'm out. I'm asleep. I just fall asleep, and I wake up, and it's like morning. And I was just like, what? I like ran downstairs. I told my mom, and she was like, oh, that was an angel. That was totally an angel. You were praying. I grew up in a very Christian home. Obviously, I feel like that is obvious by now. But so my mom was like, that was an angel. And I was like, wow, like that. I was very chill with that. Like, that was cool. I was like, yes, I saw an angel. And now being older, I wonder, I'm like, was that an angel? Like, was that paranormal? And some people might be like, that was an alien. Like, I no clue what that was. But I do know that I was not afraid. There was no like menacing feeling at all about it. I was very at peace. And so maybe that was my guardian angel. Maybe it was a deceased loved one. I didn't have any grandmothers or I didn't have any grandpas or grandmas that had passed at that time. So wouldn't have been one of them. But I mean, I had like great grandparents. So I don't know. I'm very open to explanations as to what that could have been. Feel free to leave your thoughts, your guesses. I think that's kind of fun, like talking about that and being like, oh, wow, like I saw something like that. And especially if you have seen something like that, like similar, like that white, glowing like outline or whatever, like I would love to hear if you've had something like that. But so that was like my big experience as a child. And, I am secretly so jealous of people that like have lived in haunted houses, that have paranormal experiences left and right. But at the same time, I'm not. Like, I'm very scared. Like, I feel like it would really scare me. And I know that I don't have them because I'm very closed off. Like, the door is shut. And, I could totally have more, I think. And I want to get over that fear. I don't know. Like, it creeps me out. So maybe one day I'll be brave and like, just kind of let that wall down. And I'm not talking about like a Ouija board. I'm just saying like being vocal about like, hey, grandma, like if you want to visit me, or like just being open to spirits and just being open to that. My mom, if she heard me saying this, she would be getting in the car, coming here right now and being like, anyway. So that was my big experience as a child. So fast forwarding to like when I'm an adult, throughout growing up, I have had like weird experiences, weird things, but like nothing that would be like a big story. It's been like I've heard footsteps. Like, I've been home alone. When I lived in LA, I was home alone and I heard like footsteps upstairs in my roommate's room walking. Weird. But that was it. Nothing after that. And it wasn't like reoccurring. It wasn't like super constantly happening or like heightening in like intensity until we moved here. I was sitting on the couch in the living room during the day, completely daylight. My husband was upstairs working and I was watching TV. I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter what I was doing. But I had my laptop on my lap and I was like looking up stuff. And the way that our living room is our couch is against a wall and then there's like a big window, like almost like a bar that you could like lean on, and it's open from the kitchen into the living room, and someone could lean over and like tap me on the head while I'm sitting on the couch. So I'm sitting there and I hear someone in my ear and it's a man's voice, and I hear someone say, "Hey there." And I was like, "Hun?" That's what I call my husband. So I call out for him and he is like, "Yeah," like from upstairs. I like shout it, and I ask him like if he said anything. No, he didn't. I looked around. we have neighbors, but like they weren't there. They weren't like outside. They weren't like doing anything. They weren't in the back. Like I can easily see their backyard, and they weren't there. They weren't doing anything. And it was just too close. Like it was like right here in my ear. I did have the TV on, but once again, it was like here in my ear. So that was weird. Then this was like a month ago. I was sitting in the same place, and my husband and I were having dinner. We were watching TV, and I was like leaning forward. So there was like space between the back cushion and my back. And my husband had like his arms to his side or whatever, and I felt someone take their hand and like brush, like come up my back and like touch my shoulder. Like someone like went like this, like from my back up to my shoulder. And I was like, it startled me because I thought that he was like eating or whatever. And I was like, did you just touch me? And he was like, no. And I looked and I was like, did a pillow fall over? Because we have like weird pillows. A pillow didn't fall over. Did a blanket fall over? Like there was nothing there that would have like fallen and like touched me. It was really weird. It was like a brushing across my back up to like here. Weird. Like once again, and my husband wouldn't like he would be very like, yeah, like once again, he would never do something funny like that to like play a trick on me or like, like he doesn't care about that stuff. So very weird. And it's weird that it was in the same place like that, exactly where I was sitting. So maybe we have like a haunted living room or something. I don't know. I wonder if my husband can hear me. He's probably chuckling because my husband is not, I don't want to say he's an unbeliever because that's not true. He's just very skeptical, which is fair. I think that the paranormal topic is super popular and it has been. And so that invites people to lie or embellish or what have you. I also think that fear can make your mind believe things. I heavily believe if you go somewhere expecting something, you're probably gonna see it. You're probably going to find it, whether that's good or bad. So I think that the mind is a big part. Not discrediting any people that that you see on YouTube that go to these haunted locations and they see something. It could be 100% real. Who the heck am I to say that that's not real? I think it's okay to be like, have a healthy dose of skepticism. But I also think that things just aren't explainable and that you can't always reason things with logic and you can't convince someone of a feeling that you felt. It's like, it's impossible. So as crazy and weird as stories may sound sometimes, I always try to approach them with a very open mind. The only other things I can say that are super weird and I'm not sure if it fits in the paranormal realm, but like other people would believe that it does, is like things just going missing. Like I have had items that I am looking literally left and right, up and down. I am pulling out drawers. I am searching everywhere for this thing. And then I wake up the next day, come in, and it's there. It's just like sitting there, like on my vanity or like whatever. And I'm just like, really? Like there was this straw cleaner that my husband and we were cleaning or something. I can't remember how it unfolded, but we had it and then it was just gone. and we were both looking for this straw cleaner, and it was nowhere. Like, we could not find this thing anywhere. And then we just found it. It was on the floor. And I was like, what? Like, we were tearing that kitchen apart. I was looking everywhere. So, you know, once again, like, someone else would be like, that's just, you know, I don't know, that's just your mind. You know, I misplace things all the time, and I think probably most of the time that would point to me being not focused and not like something weird going on. But Baby, do you have the mousey? My cat just pushed this mousey under the door, and I just saw her like little brown paw like reaching through. What are you doing?
Are you gonna let her in?
Well, she's playing. She's been playing with the mousey. Speaking of Babs, I have caught her a couple of times creeping me the hell out. I cannot stand it when animals are like, and they're like following something with their eye line, like they're like looking like this at the wall and there's nothing there. I always get aggressively upset at Babs when she's like following. So I'm like, stop it right now because you're freaking me out.
I'm so scared right now, you shut up!
Part of me wants to say, I hope I have more stories to tell you in the future, but part of me doesn't. I'm very divided on this topic. I am fascinated with the paranormal and the spiritual realm, but I am like, it's kind of like how I view the ocean. Like, I have a fear, like a respectful fear. You know, I have heard the stories, I've heard the experiences, so I'm just a little apprehensive about being like, yeah, let's do this. Like, you know, so I don't know. We'll see, but I would love to hear your stories. If you have any stories, if you lived in a haunted house, if you currently live in a haunted house, like, you know, I would love to hear all of it. The story I told in the beginning, have you seen something like that? Do you have like a guesstimate as to what that was, or like what your thoughts on that are? I would love to hear all of it. More Halloween hunting videos are to come. Thank you for joining my cute and creepy little friends, and stay spooky as always. Bye.